Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Referrals Podcast. Are you using the most powerful tool in social media? I bet you're going to learn something new today. The most powerful tool in social media is not what you think it is. Nope, not Facebook. Nope, not Instagram. Nope, not TikTok. Nope, not Clubhouse. Whoa, remember Clubhouse? I'm sorry, did Clubhouse not stand the test of time? It's like, what happened to Clubhouse? What if you could learn a technique and tool in social media that will stand the test of time, that's been around here for a decade plus, and will help you get referrals? Would you be interested in that? Well, if so, listen, because we're going to have a 20-minute conversation with our guest today. So before I do that, I got to give a shout out to our listeners. I love you guys. We are top 100 trending in U.S., Canada, Singapore, a bunch of other countries. And I'm telling you, the name of the podcast is Referrals Podcast. It's not marketing. It's not sales. It's Referrals Podcast. I think referrals are catching on. I think people are finally finding out that, you know what, chasing strangers sucks. And attracting referrals is awesome. So what we're going to talk today is about how you can attract more referrals. I got to give a special shout out to Jane Merle, one of our listeners here at the Referrals Podcast. Says, Michael, thank you. Doesn't seem to encompass how much I appreciate your guidance, support, motivation, and humor. Jane likes my humor. Are you kidding me? I've needed to make some big decisions about my career because I've been chasing shining objects for several years, and a lack of success was the result. However, relationship building is my strength. 7L and Gen were the perfect match for me and are the perfect match for me. I get it every week in Referrals Podcast. Thank you again and your entire team for everything you have done to challenge us thus far. I love that, and I love the word challenge. Like, I do challenge you. I always want you to implement after listening to Referrals Podcast because, you know, learning without implementation is just entertainment. And, you know, I'm not good enough to just be an entertainer. You know, I got to be an educator. I'm really hoping that you guys get the education here and make it happen. And speaking of which, oh, come here. Look at this. Look at this. You got to throw your arms up, buddy. Look at this. Hey. So the other day I was saying, Max, you know what? Don't you need a little break from sports? Well, God didn't just give him a break. God gave him 2 breaks. He's got 2 broken arms. 2. He looks like Rocky Balboa. You know, put him up right here, Max. Go like, there you go. All right, Max, thank you. I appreciate that. And we will most likely edit that out. All right, so I just wanted you to know that the other thing that I have to tell all of you is that this is the last chance. You are listening to this the first week of June. We just started the 7L book club led by me. Wouldn't it have been great if Napoleon Hill led a book club on Think and Grow Rich? Wouldn't it have been great if Dale Carnegie would have led a book club on how to win friends and influence people? Like, I would have been in front row and paid thousands for that session, right? So you're not going to have to pay thousands, but you can be in a class where live I lead you through a book club through this awesome book. Now, I say awesome book. I'm definitely biased, but I'm going to lead you through the book. I'm going to tell you some secrets you've never heard. Tuesday is Tuesday, where you're going to choose a strategy to implement from everything we talk about. Friday is do or die day, which means you either did it or you're going to die in front of the crowd and we're going to make fun of you. Just kidding. But it is a little bit dying when you said you're going to do an action item and then you don't do it, right? Now, speaking of action takers, are you kidding with today's guest? Are you kidding? This podcast just gets better and better and better. I'm telling you. We have Brynne Tillman here today. She is the CEO of Social Sales Link and is truly the LinkedIn Whisperer. She teaches business professionals how to convert content and connections into conversations, which leads to business and sales. Through her warm marketing prospecting philosophy, she guides sales leaders to leverage the power of LinkedIn to attract, teach, and engage buyers, ultimately starting relationships with a high level of credibility and trust. Brynne is also the author of the LinkedIn Sales Playbook, a tactical guide to social selling. She literally wrote the book on LinkedIn sales. We have her here today. Welcome, Brynne, to the Referrals Podcast. Love to have you.
Oh, Michael, thank you for having me. This is so cool.
I just did jazz hands. I literally have not done jazz hands in forever. It must be the opening of the country and, mostly COVID is behind us. Yes, it is still affecting many, and I pray for them. But it seems like the door is opening in front of us. It's so exciting. I spoke last week for the first time live in front of an audience, and it was so magical and energizing and uplifting. And it's just like I have to tell you, I love the subject matter of today because I have personally gotten referrals on LinkedIn, and I love doing recommendations and getting recommendations on LinkedIn. I cannot wait for you to talk about LinkedIn, so I'm going to shut up now. So why LinkedIn for social media? Why not Facebook? Why not Instagram?
So I'm never going to say don't do everything else, but LinkedIn is positioned as a business development platform. It is a platform where people come to do business. So it makes sense to create professional relationships and to leverage our network in a way that no other platform allows us to do this, because there is a magic side to LinkedIn that is not available on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything else. And that is the ability to filter.
Wait. You're going to tell us right up front. You're not going to make us wait for 20 minutes. You are going to give us the secret, the reason that LinkedIn is number one in social media. You're going to give this to us right now.
Yes. And then we're going to talk about the strategies in using it.
I like
are we
it.
good? Are we okay?
I want that. Let's go. Okay. I mean, hey, why bury the lead, right?
This is the lead, baby. This is the drop the mic moment. LinkedIn allows you to filter and search your connections to identify who in your network knows exactly who you want to meet, right? This is the magic. It is, a lot of us go, oh, LinkedIn, it's just an, overblown Rolodex. Yes, it's our Rolodex, but it is also the Rolodex of our connections. And there is nowhere else that I can say, hey, Michael, I can say to you for referrals, and we do it all the time. Hey, Michael, who do you know that can help the way I've been able to help you? Who else can I help? And most people want to give referrals, but a lot of times they don't know who they know, or they forget who they know, or they don't really know who you want to know.
Yeah.
But you can look through their Rolodex. And you can
even say things like, Brynne, tell me about the relationship that you have with Michael Cooper.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
and maybe Michael Cooper is a target. Like we talk about a spoke to hub strategy in 7L, where we take everybody we know to try to connect to the one we really want to connect to, right? And it's one of those where the nice thing about tell me about your relationship with Michael Cooper is honestly they might be linked but not know each other at all, right? But if there is a connection, maybe you can get connected.
There are like 3 legs of using this.
I love it. I want to hear it. Hear it. Now, here's what's interesting about LinkedIn, and I hear it in your passion, is I always say this about referrals, right? It's like women, right? It's like women. And it's like, here's the thing. I don't hate all the other women, right? I like women in general, but I happen to just really, really, really love my wife. Right? So it's like that with referrals. It's like marketing. I don't hate marketing. I don't hate advertising. I don't hate these other things, right? I just happen to really, really, really love referrals. it's that way for you with social media, right? You don't hate Facebook, you don't hate Instagram, right? You just happen to really, really love LinkedIn.
So all these other platforms are the long game. I post, they see me, we engage. There's a little long game in LinkedIn with posting too, but there's a short game. And the short game is referrals, hands down. LinkedIn, not LinkedIn. Referrals is the short game to new conversations with the right people coming in at a high level of credibility. Chances are they're not even shopping you.
That's right.
So, we talked about my daughter is a realtor, which, and most of her business is coming in from referrals. When they come in from referrals, they're not like, hey, we're shopping 3 other realtors and we'll get back to you. They're like, hey, you helped my girlfriend close on the house of her dreams seamlessly. She said I should work with you, right? So the referrals are key to getting in front of. You can do lots of other prospecting, but you're spinning your wheels and you're going through a lot of numbers to get to the right people. So with LinkedIn and referrals, which is my passion, which is why I'm so glad to be here, there are 3 ways to do this. So one is conducting CPR on your existing connections. So yes, it's bringing them back to life, but it is also identifying your clients, your prospects, and your referral partners. So we can do a few things. We can export our connections into an Excel spreadsheet in under 10 minutes and start to take inventory. Who are we connected to that would be able to refer us or that are prospects? Like we need to just take inventory. For now, we're going to stick with clients and referral partners because that's the world, right?
That's right.
So now we go, everyone we ever worked with that we're connected to. Now I want to I know I'm connected to them. They're in my connections. And now I want to go search their connections to find other people I want to work with. So, let's say, maybe we'll stick with, you're a realtor and you want to meet mortgage brokers, or you're a mortgage broker and you want to meet realtors. I can go search my client and see how many realtors does she know, and make a list and go to her and say, hey, 14 realtors I'd love to get in front of. Can I run this list by you?
I love
14
that.
becomes 4 that they know and like.
That's right.
Right. And so they can either make referrals. Now, let's say we have a big number. I have 14 and 12 of them, they know me. That it's hard to ask for 12 introductions.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot to ask of someone. And
you don't have time to follow up with 12. To be quite realistic, right?
If we want to, and we can do it over time.
Yes.
So what we do is, of these 12, is there anyone on this list you'd feel comfortable introducing me to? These 2, thank you. When I reach out to the other 10, can I mention that you were my happy client and that you said that it made sense for me to reach out?
Love it.
So now we get these 2 introductions. We work them this week. Next week, we're going to take 2 more from that 10 and reach out. And I'll say, Susan, Michael and I were chatting the other day. I worked with him 2 years ago and he was really happy. And he thought I should reach out and introduce myself. Notice the first thing I say is your name. Drop the very first thing in the message is the shared connection's name. Let's connect. And based on Michael's recommendation, we'll jump on a quick call. I'm assuming the conversation because Michael said so. Every single time, half of them will convert to conversations. Half. So if we have 10, 5 will become calls.
All right, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to, and are we still on 1 CPR for our current relationships?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, what is next? So sometimes you can lead a horse to drink or to water, but you can't make them drink, right? Sometimes you lead a professional to a lead, but you can't make them think, right? And that's not a insult. It's just they're sometimes stuck with, how do I take it from the conversation online to the conversation offline? Is there a strategy or a preference for you on that?
Well, first of all, it's an assumption in this case. Michael said Susan should talk to me. So Susan, based on Michael's recommendation, let's connect and jump on a Zoom call.
There you go. All right. So the Zoom call is a nice, easy, very current, very professional way to take that first step. I love that.
Yeah.
Now
I will follow with, let me know your preferred way of scheduling, Or if you'd like, here's a link to my calendar. Feel free to pick a time that's convenient for you.
Love it.
Now you need both pieces. Some people get a calendar link and that they never heard of you before, and they're like, that's presumptuous.
That's right. That's right.
So you want to make sure you start with, let me know your preferred way of scheduling, or if it's easier for you, here's a link. So now we're just making it easy for them.
That's right. You could even put in that email or communication 2 times for them to choose from, right? That are free as well.
So
right?
Here's the problem with that for me, and I'm in a business development role. I end up with so many blocks in my calendar, or I end up double booking.
That's right.
So I stopped doing that when I got a calendar link. And that was my to go. I have Monday morning or Thursday afternoon, what works best for you. And then a week later they respond.
Yeah. And it's filled.
I'm like, ooh, it was last Thursday or right. So for
it.
me, I've moved on from that conversation because I'm not organized enough.
Or you're busy, right? I mean,
and busy.
Yeah. You're going to fill that up quickly, and you can't necessarily wait for them to choose one of those 2 times. Right.
Yeah. Right. Because we're doing this at mass.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
And scheduling is, that is I mean, when you schedule, you're actually taking blocks of your life, right? It's a very important task, and it's not one to be messed up, right?
Right.
So I love that. I love that. They can see your schedule in real time. They can book it, and it shows up in real time on your schedule. And wow, that's very similar to how you and I did this podcast. So
it is.
So, all right. So number 2. So 1 is CPR for current connections, for people you already know and looking to grow by the inward rule, which is you're going to grow your database and grow the people you know by utilizing the people you already know, right? And so what's number 2?
Number 2 is ask your clients who their other trusted advisors are.
Yeah.
Right. So, we have this existing list of referral partners. We need more. So for example, I go to my client and I want to see how many mortgage people if I maybe I don't sell to mortgage people, but they're a really good referral partner for me. Or maybe CPAs are a really good referral partner for me. So how many of these people is my current client connected to? Because I want to know my prospects, but I also now want to meet additional referral partners. So this is really important because those referral partners, when we're prospecting, we're fishing with a pole, right? We've got one pole, one line, one worm catching one fish. But when we build these bigger referral partners now, and when it's 2 ways, when you're bringing as much value as you're taking, right? And sometimes I like to make sure I'm always giving one more than I'm getting.
That's right.
Just to make sure, right? So when you create these referral relationships, partners that you have a shared client with, it converts to referrals fast. Why? My client says, oh, Michael, he's amazing. I'm comfortable referring you. And you're going to be more comfortable referring me because I've been vetted by our shared client.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love the triangle of trust and utilizing. We do this in the buyer's consultation with, do you have a financial planner? Yes or no. If they do have a financial planner, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. If they rate it a 10, then I want to get an introduction. If they rate it less than a 10, then I want to ask them, is it okay if I give them an introduction from my network? Right. So right out of the chute, we're building a referral relationship with our clients, and from then on, it's just a continuation of that great referral relationship, and you're networking with their 10s. And so when you're networking with their 10s, a lot of times they see you as a 10 as well, very, very quickly, right? They trust you more, so on and so forth. So I love that.
Once you have those relationships, when the time is right, you want to mine their connections and invite them to mine yours.
I love it. 3.
Okay. Number 3, I'm going after a company. If this is for B2B people.
Yep.
Right. I am selling into software companies, and I want to see generally in my network So I just did my CPR. So I know on my first degree, because those were my prospects.
That's right.
Now I'm going to use the filter inside of LinkedIn, and I'm going to look for, let's say, CEOs in software companies in the greater Atlanta area that I share a connection with.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's three, because I just did that one. That's not companies. That's software, that's industry.
Yeah.
And now I get a list of all these people, and I can see generally who in my network knows those people. Then the fourth one, that was three. That was a bonus that just came out.
I love it.
The fourth one is I want to get into Pfizer.
Okay.
And I put in Pfizer, and then I go to people and all employees. And then I go first degree and second degree. I already know my first because I took inventory. So I'm going to search Pfizer second degree connections, and I get 17. So that means there are 17 people working at Pfizer that I share a connection with. Now I'm going to look through them and find who are my top stakeholders of these people, who's closest to someone I want to have a conversation with. And then I can see, oh, Joe is exactly who I want to meet. And my fraternity brother, Fred is a connection. And now I reach out to Fred. Fred, how do you, oh, we worked together for years. Now, sometimes we have 7 or 8 connections with that person. I will literally, because this is my process, go of those 7 or 8, anyone that would know my name, maybe 6 of them, I will reach out and say, hey, Fred, I see you know Susan at Fiserv. How well do you know her? It's someone I'm trying to get in front of. Any insights you have would be great. And I'll get 6 people I'll send the same message to. And then if one comes back, oh, I know her really well. And then I'll say, would you hop on a quick 5-minute call with me? I'd love to get some insights.
Boom. Just drop the mic. That was, and the plus that you gave us a bonus is amazing.
Things.
But what I see here is not somebody that's hacking around LinkedIn, right? Which a lot of, honestly, somebody a long time ago or 5 years ago told somebody, like, let's talk a realtor, right? A realtor to get into LinkedIn. So they got into LinkedIn, right? Kind of. But they hack around with it. They don't do a lot with it. The number one thing that this should be a reminder for every single person that is watching or listening to this is go update your LinkedIn profile. Go look at it. Take a review, change your picture, get everything updated, number one. And then number two.
And show up as a resource. This isn't about you. If you are an entrepreneur, a realtor, you are not looking for a job, forget the resume.
That's right.
Show up as a resource, be of value. They will be excited to have a conversation with you.
So tell me about that. What does it mean to show up as a resource? Like, what is that? How can you look at 2 profiles and you see one that's there as a resource and one is not?
So a resume is pretty specifically what it is. This is my history. This is what I've done. There even may be my passion, my mission, my years in business.
There you go.
But they don't care about that yet. They'll care about you once the relationship starts. But that's not what gets you the first call. What gets you the first call, and my way of building a profile came from inspiration in 2 places. One is the Challenger Sale, which is a book from now, maybe 12 or more years ago, that talks about leading people to your solution. The second one is a study that Corporate Visions did that said 74% of buyers choose the sales rep that was first to add value and insights, not the first one to pitch, right? So how do we do that on our profile? Our profile needs to do 5 things. It needs to resonate with our buyer. They need to see immediately that we work with them. It needs to create curiosity. So we've got to get them to lean in and go, that's
how do you do that?
interesting.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Yeah. Right. Then we need to teach them something new. So let's do Realtor for a minute.
Okay.
So maybe it's the 5 things you must do before listing your house to get the most value out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And so now we go through, what is that, right? And now they go, my realtor's not talking about that, or the realtor I'm talking to, hopefully they didn't list yet, They're not talking about that. So what are we doing? We're teaching them something new. So we have resonate, create curiosity, teach something new. Number 4 is what we're teaching them is getting them thinking differently about status quo. They're going, I haven't thought about that for me yet. I need to. And then number 5 is make it easy, call to action, make it easy for them to schedule with you, call you, get your contact information everywhere, and tell them, even if you have a current realtor, let's talk.
Brynne, go through those 5 again. Well, you're talking, I mean, you packed, like, that's a Big Mac with 5 burgers in it. I mean, this is like a meaty 2 minutes that we just did. You got to repeat it for people and explain each of the ones again.
Resonate. They need to look at your profile and immediately say they work with people like me.
There you go.
Create curiosity. They have to go, that's interesting. I typically do this by talking about the results we bring for people. So this has to be honest. I'm just sticking with Realtor right now.
That's
but
right.
This has to be honest, but it might be on average, our houses I've listed in the houses listed 10% over, got 10% over, go, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk about how we did that. We're going to teach them. We're going to teach them how to get on average 10% over your listing price. And in today's market, you could get even more than that, but that's beside the point because it's crazy out there.
Yeah. It's a good time for realtor stats.
It's a good time for
right. I sell. It used to be I sell homes in 32 days for 98% of list price.
It's now
nowadays it's 32 hours for 20,000 over asking price. Right. So
I mean, we have houses on our street that are selling twice what they were a year ago. Double.
Are you ready to sell?
No.
Will you sell through your daughter?
No, because she's in a different state. She's not licensed in Pennsylvania. She's in New Jersey.
I knew that was going to be an interesting answer.
Yeah.
All right. So 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. So I got to do them in order. Yeah. Resonate, create curiosity, teach something new, get them thinking differently about their current situation.
Yeah.
They have to shift. Our biggest competitor is status quo. Every time, right? Yeah. Status quo. So you've got to shift the way. And then number 5 is get them to raise their hand. You've got to lead them to your call to action, because they might go, oh, that was really cool. But if you don't go, let's chat, here's my number, they don't even think about it.
You've wasted an opportunity. You've wasted an opportunity. Yeah. I'm a huge call to action guy as well. Speaking of calls to action, we have buzzed through this. I mean, you literally gave us 4 ways to use LinkedIn, and then 5 ways to update our profile in a way that's attractive.
And we barely touched the surface.
That's what I'm saying. In like 25, 30 minutes here, but they're going to want more information. So, Brynne, how does someone reach out to you, contact you, get more information on you and what you do for people?
Well, I'm the only Brynne Tillman on LinkedIn, so that's the good news.
Wow, that's cool.
But we have a free membership. If you go to socialsaleslink.com/library, it'd be nice if I knew my call to action. Socialsaleslink.com/library or LinkedInlibrary.com. It's a
you have LinkedInlibrary.com?
I do.
You rock. You sneaky little URL buyer.
I have so many LinkedIn. I'm surprised LinkedIn hasn't come down and said, we're confiscating all your LinkedIn URLs.
As big as this podcast becoming, you may want to prepare your letters, just so you know. So LinkedInlibrary.com or socialsaleslink.com/library, or just look up Brynne Tillman, BRYNNE Tillman, on LinkedIn, and that's like the first thing I would do after I get done. I would update my profile so that when I became connected to Brynne, she would be impressed that I listened to her and updated my
I'll say, as our free member, once a month we have a coaching call that you're welcome to jump on. There's usually like 100 people on it, but you can get your question in, and most people say, hey, take a look at my profile. What do you recommend? And that's free. It's all free.
Boom. This was a loaded podcast today. And I know that your followers and fans are going, oh my gosh, she just barely scratched the surface. And I get it. I get it. And those of you that have been introduced to her for the first time, those of you in the generosity generation at joingengen.com, come on over, and I'm telling you, check into Brynne and what she's doing, and you're going to love the rest of what she covers. Today, literally, we did scratch the surface. It's 1% of what she has to offer and the value that she brings, and I encourage you to do that. And first and foremost, Brynne, I just want to say thank you so much for being our guest today on Referrals Podcast.
Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Thank you for having me, Michael.
Didn't it just like absolutely fly by?
Flew by.
I'll tell you, that's what a great conversation, a high-minded conversation with lots of great ideas. You got to love it. That's what we do here on Referrals Podcast. I would be remiss if I did not invite you to join us at 7lbookclub.com, 7lbookclub.com. And if you have not subscribed to the Referrals Podcast yet, what are you doing? Yeah, every week, every Tuesday, we're going to send this to your inbox, to your device, and you can just click on it, listen to it while you're walking or while you're working out or while you're doing something else, and you can get educated and learn how to get referrals. Today, we learned how to get referrals through LinkedIn with Brynne Tillman. This was a fantastic podcast. We will see you next time on Referrals Podcast. Thank you, everybody.